Hi, my name is Tony and welcome back to the Akita Life. Today, Haga and I are going to be talking about how long Akitas live for. Now, Akitas are a larger breed with American Akitas growing up to 125 pounds in some cases, and Japanese Akitas, also known as Akita Inus, growing to be about anywhere from 80 to 100 pounds, sometimes, very rarely though, they get to that triple digit mark. But bigger dogs often don't live as long because it's more stress on their joints, more stress on their organs. And our last Akita was an Akita mix. His name was Loki. He was primarily Japanese Akita mixed with some Dalmatian. And at his biggest, he was about 80 pounds. And he lived to be just over 13 years old. And it was actually his hips that gave out on him first. He was still cognitively 100%. And we actually had to put him down just because his mobility was just so bad. His quality of life was awful. So he lived to be about 13 years old. With the American Akita breed, they are a little bit bigger. So you often hear people say 10 to 12, but I have heard of people having Akitas that live to 14 or 15 years old. The things that are going to affect the lifespan of any dog are going to be the dog's genetics. If the dog has any genetic hereditary issues with disease or joint issues, that's going to cause a problem. The quality of life of the dog in general, was it well kept? Was it fed nutritious food? That's going to have a big impact. Was it a working dog? Was it a house dog? All those things are going to play an important role in how long your dog lives. And of course, just being a cognizant owner and making sure that your dog is not getting into anything that it shouldn't, eating food it shouldn't eat, or eating things that are not food items that are dangerous, that it could kill the dog if it eats. So all those things are going to play a big role in your dog's health and longevity. But typically speaking, American Akitas are going to live probably about 11 or 12 years. Big dogs like Akitas are prone to what's called bloat in dogs, and what happens is their stomach will actually flip upside down, and this is a very dangerous thing. It's a medical emergency if this happens to your dog. Some of the symptoms are the dog has tenderness around the belly, it's panting, it's throwing up sometimes, and if this happens to your dog, it is a medical emergency. It has to be taken care of right away. There is a procedure that you can have done, which is where your vet will actually tack the stomach down so it can't actually flip, or makes it more difficult to flip. The procedure usually works pretty well from what I'm told. We have not had this done on Haga yet. He's not quite old enough. And mostly it really reduces the risk, but it doesn't completely eliminate it. But there are some other things you can do to just keep bloat from happening in general. Trying not to exercise your dog too much immediately after eating, or don't feed your dog when your dog is really excited or panting. Find strategies to slow down the dog's eating. So some dogs, like Haga, he's like a vacuum. He just wants to just chow right through it. So getting a special mat or bowl that slows down the eating process supposedly can help. And some people do actually give their dogs over-the-counter bloat supplements, anti-bloat supplements, but I would highly recommend checking with your vet before you give your dog anything like that, because those are made for people, and many supplements and medicines for people can be used in dogs, but definitely just check with your veterinarian before you do that. So even though big dogs like Akitas do have a shorter lifespan compared to some other breeds, don't let that discourage you from getting an Akita if you're interested in owning one, because they are an amazing breed, and with the proper care, a lot of times they can have a long and very happy and fulfilling life. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see everyone next week. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing and hit that like button and bell notification. That really helps out the channel. If you have any thoughts on this, please leave a comment. That also helps us out a lot as well, and we love to chat with everybody who owns an Akita or is thinking about getting one.